Hey guys, Scott with Quest Capsule here, coming to you again from beautiful Charleston, South Carolina.
It is of vital importance that you come and meet with me in person at my offices at 27 King Street, Charleston.
You know, last year we brought to you guys season 1 of the popular Netflix show, The Outer Banks, which was filmed here in Charleston, South Carolina. We brought to you the filming location.
Charleston? You know, it's like an 8-hour drive.
Well, we're back in Charleston this year, and it's only a few days after the premiere of season 2 of The Outer Banks. We find ourselves here again.
John Booker Rutledge, pursuant to the North Carolina statute, section 14, you are charged with murder.
And we're in Charleston, ready to bring you guys a first-hand look at a lot of the filming locations from season 2 of the hit show.
You sure it's the place, Pogue? Pretty sure.
In Charleston, South Carolina, have Sarah and the daughter with me again.
I think he's following us.
And we're headed out to show you guys Outer Banks season 2 filming locations.
Look at your life right now.
They're taking it really well.
Come along with us.
My dad had this quote: "The ocean washes away all the evil men do."
All right, here we are. We're standing outside the Cameron Estates from season 2 of The Outer Banks. Of course, this one was also in season 1, but we're outside Sarah Cameron's house, Ward Cameron's house.
Okay, I'm not sure, but I think they can definitely see us from up there.
Can you hurry up?
You see Kiara in Pope, where Kiara is spray painting murder on the gate of the Cameron estate.
They can definitely see us from up there.
Who cares? You should be glad I'm not setting the house on fire.
As you can see right here in the show, you've got Kiara right there. You can see that fire hydrant. I don't know if the camera can show that, but right here would be that angle. And that would be the fire hydrant right there, and Pope and Kiara would have carried out that scene right there.
Not bad.
Pretty sure they CGI'd the word murders onto the gate.
That was nothing. Are you serious?
Once again, a lot of scenes took place during the daytime, during the nighttime in season 2.
You going to at least bag those Pogues for vandalizing the house? I mean, what are they paying for? Ray, what do you want from me? I don't know.
It's Reese's 19th birthday. She wants to go down there and get a picture with her 19th birthday balloon. Happy birthday, 19. And that would have been the road that Ward and the Cameron crew went down many times. And behind the Cameron Estates is the Cameron Estates pier. Ward was in his boat and blew himself up at the end. Trying to evade the law from arresting him for murder. Carefully crafted to plot his course out of the area and escape the law, which he did. Directly in front of me is the Kildare County Sheriff's Office. We're approaching a few scenes here from season 2. One of them in particular is when Ward kills Gavin in the building under construction. Runs out of that building. And it actually drops in this drain right here. And you can tell that is that drain because when the camera cuts behind Ward as he's kneeled down to try to get the gun out of the drain.
Hold this.
You can see the corner of that gate right there in that shot as Ward kneels down right in front of that drain area. But that scene took place right there. Also in season 2, this open line, they built a set that appeared to be a building under construction where Ward would have murdered Gavin. Where Gavin was demanding more money from Ward.
I don't want to go to jail. All right? Give me the gun. You gotta pay me, Ward.
So the fight pursued and Ward eventually shot and killed Gavin right in this area right here. There's another scene where I believe it's Rafe rides up on a dirt bike. in the scene, you can actually see this fire hydrant right here is seen clearly in that scene. And then of course you had Pope, JJ, and Kiara, what appeared maybe up here on this building.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
And of course the pharmacy back here was in a lot of the background shots of those scenes.
What are you doing?
What is wrong with you?
And not too far from there is another very interesting scene from season 2 that happened. And it was where Kiara was inside of the manhole trying to retrieve the gun that Ward dropped in the drain.
And Kiara, she was like freaking out because the water was coming up, and
you know, the water's coming up and, you know, it's cutting back and forth. And then eventually, you know, they're fighting like crazy to get that thing off.
They were trying so hard to pull it off. The water had come to the edge.
We're gonna get you out of there, I promise.
And then they finally got it off. And then she pulled the gun out from her back pocket.
This wasn't what we were looking for, right?
And here we are outside of what was Kiara's parents' house.
Baby, no, you can't go to Charleston on a school night.
But this is my chance to finally clear John B's name.
Of course, this is the scene where she's taken off and her mom's screaming at her.
Gordon, what are you talking about?
Horizons, baby, could get you out of OBX.
And her parents would have been up there raising Cain.
You want to go? Then you can go. But if you don't come back at the proper time, then don't come back at all.
All right, so now we're headed to a really popular landmark. Pope, JJ, and Kiara are headed to South Carolina after Pope received a letter stating that someone has information that could exonerate John B., get him clear of the murder.
It is of vital importance that you come and meet with me in person at my offices at 27 King Street, Charleston.
But they're headed towards Charleston when they pass over the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge. They're traveling over the bridge, the Arthur Ravenel Bridge, when John B. and Sarah are crossing underneath it.
Look, it's Charleston.
I wonder where John B and Sarah are right now.
As seen in season 2 of Outer Banks. Hit show on Netflix.
Yeah, they're a bunch of fancy people. They've had like 3 governors in the family. They've run Charleston for like 300 years.
These cooks make our cooks look like Pogues. You sure it's the place, Pope?
All right, and here we are at the nearby location of Carla Limbrey. And we're actually at the house that Pope, JJ, and Kiara came to get that bit of information that was offered to them from Mrs. Limbrey. And this is where they came, this house right up here that we want to show you. And here we are in the sky with a similar vantage point as seen in the season 2 trailer, but as well in the show. And this is the scene, of course, where JJ pulls up in his truck with Pope and Kiara, and they go inside here, the home of Carla Limbrey. And might be able to take a quick stroll on the front porch here, and that would be where they knocked. And then, of course, that scene continues with Pope letting her know he doesn't have the key, which they don't believe him.
I want the key.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
From there, there's a fight for the key, and they end up chasing him. Pope, you know, eventually gets out of there, and then the chase scene takes place. Here we come down the alleyway that was part of the chase scene. You see that tree right there, as well as that sign. But you can see the street sign there, as well as some of the signature architectural front-facing parts of the building there in the background. All All right, now we're in a very interesting spot, and this is the actual alleyway that they were running down to get away from Limbrey's evil person that was in pursuit of them. And here's what it would have looked like from Key's perspective as she was running, having no idea that right down there, at the end of this alleyway, she was gonna bump into, once and for all, John B. and Sarah C. And then right out here would have been where they eventually ran through. And then in this very spot right here would have been where the reunion between the crew took place. And you can see in the show, that is the backdrop. Right after the reunion, they all jumped aboard. What was it, Reese? What did they get on board? It was like a...
It was like a bike, and they all got on, and they tried to like outrun everybody.
Yeah. So they all jumped on board like a historic bicycle ride that you find all throughout Charleston. And then, of course, the bush right over here was also a giveaway, which was in the foreground of the shot. And they were on this street right here. They all were on board it. They made their escape. And you actually, on one of the shots, you can see this part of the road. And this pink colored house too, you can clearly see in the show too. And you see the crew passing by here on the bike before eventually the camera is behind them, and then you see a wide shot from behind the carriage ride, and you actually see that harbor out on the distance. And that building way down there, the white historical home with the black shutters at the end, and you can see that in the shot. And was these palm trees right here, leaning a little bit to the left in front of the historic home with black shutters. Dead giveaway. John B., Pope, Kiara, JJ finally reunited. They get on their boat and they head back to the OBX. It's this piece of land here they pulled out of the beach area in the show. You see an aerial shot, and then they escape, headed back towards the Outer Banks. Very hot and humid day. Enjoying our tour in the historic French district of Charleston, exploring Outer Banks Season 2 filming locations. Glad to bring them to you. Hope you're enjoying the ride. All right, now here we are at another filming location for the Outer Banks Season 2. And this is gonna be the scene where Pope, after speaking with Miss Limbrey regarding the key and its location.
No.
But once she showed him the image of the key and the pattern, he set out to find it. And of course, Pope went to a pharmacy named Garren's Pharmacy, and it's here in Summerville, South Carolina. And it's actually right behind us here. And it's the oldest pharmacy actually in South Carolina. But this is the scene that Pope came by the cover of night, broke into the pharmacy. And here it is, right on the corner of the main street here. But he did go upstairs, and that's where he eventually rummaged through the remnants of what was upstairs. Seeing that pattern that he matched to what Miss Limbrey had showed him, and he was able to track down that key. And it doesn't appear like there is a staircase here. Definitely an old style pharmacy. But it does appear that Garren's Pharmacy has 3 upstairs windows, so there definitely is a room up there. Now, didn't see a staircase that led up inside the actual pharmacy area unless it was hidden in the back somehow.
John Booker Rutledge, you are charged with murder in the first degree. If convicted, the maximum sentence would be the death penalty.
All right, now here we are at another location, and this would have been where the court hearing happened for John B. when they ultimately gave him the conviction of first-degree manslaughter with the threat of the death penalty if convicted. But we're here outside of that courthouse, which is actually a chapel in real life. And here we are at the front of it. And in real life, it is the Eternal Father of the Sea Chapel. But in the show, you can see right up there after the case, the crew comes out, and of course there's some definite heat between Pope, Kiara, JJ, and Ward.
You think the system works because it was made to protect you and people like you.
He'll have his day in court.
And this is where they came out of the building, and Kiara yelled at Ward, and she was saying, it's funny how Sarah's sitting with us.
It's not a coincidence that your daughter's sitting with us.
Pope, Kiara, and JJ come down here. Of course, Ward is right there, and they kind of split apart and have that argument that Reese mentioned. And Ward walked away with a guilty face, kind of pretty clear that he knew that he was a guilty party in the murder of Sheriff Peterkin. But from this scene, we actually get to see John B eventually going to the detention center, and we're actually gonna go try to find that detention center right now. It's somewhere in Charleston. We think we have a pretty good idea of where it's at, but we're gonna go try to locate that right now and show that to you. And here we are outside the detention center where after John B was convicted of first-degree murder and was waiting to be charged, they brought him here to the detention center, and you actually have a scene right behind me.
She isn't exactly street legal, so make sure you get her home safely.
But in that scene, they go to a wider shot, and you can see the VW in the shot, as well as the Kildare County Detention Center.
Back, old girl.
All right, and here we are inside the car, and this would have been what it looked like as John B pulled out in the VW. In the episode The Cross, I believe it was, the crew finally gets a lead to go to the foot of the angel, which they learn is the angel oak tree.
Come here. This humongous tree is still on Goat Island. You know what it's called?
Angel Oak.
And look right there, there's the keyhole.
Wait, that means the cross is buried at the foot of the angel.
And of course, when they came to the island room and they realized that there was a clue that was actually in the angel tree, the angel oak, we figured, you know, since the Outer Banks season 2 was filmed in Charleston, maybe this angel oak here is that angel oak. So we're gonna go near the tree and see if we can discover any landmarks that tie the two together and reveal if this is the actual filming location from season 2, the Outer Banks. Let's find out. And you can see right here through the fence, and we'll get a closer look when we go in here. But that is the angel oak. An extremely old oak tree. And here is the entrance sign to the Angel Oak, a low country treasure. Our first clue is it does hold the name used in the show. Now we'll come in here and look and see if we can match the two. Have a few images on our phones that we're gonna try to parallel and see if they line up right. Is this the Angel Oak tree from that episode? All right, Sarah, see if we can tie anything together. That looks an awful lot like it now that I'm standing right beside it.
Well, that doesn't work.
I don't know, where could they have parked the Twinkie? Let's walk around it and see if we can find anything. There is a hole right there. Right up there. Is that the hole JJ put his hand in?
There's something in here.
Look at these long limbs of this ancient tree, spanning at least 30, 40 feet from the tree itself, all the way down here towards this gate and still growing. Sarah, you see any clues?
Well, it looks like there's like a branch It's been cut off that side, so I don't know
No,
if
I
there's
saw it.
something
Let's
that
go
was
over
there.
here. I saw the hole on this side.
I still don't see any of them touching the ground now.
But you can see like this one right here comes down.
I just don't get it. I mean, you guys saw the map. He hides his gold so no one finds it for 170 years. Guys?
And now we're not completely sure. We can't seem to locate and match up the branch formation. So, but of course it is an angel oak, and it's definitely has the girth and the size of the one seen in the show.
It says it's 400 years old, this tree.
400 years old,
yeah,
wow.
So which means that it would date back to like the 1600s. And the life expectancy is 900 years old.
Do you think this is the tree from season 2 of the Outer Banks?
No.
But it's definitely a similar tree, and it's got the same name, so we've got something right. Those are great climbing trees too.
Well, they don't want you to climb it.
Let's climb it.
No, because they can't.
And after further looking at the tree, we are believing that this probably isn't the actual tree.
Denmark wanted him to find the cross. I know we're in the right spot.
Definitely one very similar, but a lot of the characteristics of the tree shown in the show are not appearing on the tree here. So we don't think this is the actual one, but we do know that it is one that's very similar. This one is probably a little larger than the one in the show. And so if you out there happen to know where that angel oak scene in the show is, or if this is indeed that angel oak, be sure to leave a comment below and let us know. But regardless, this is an angel oak, and it is one similar to the one seen in season 2 of the Outer Banks. And it's definitely something glorious to see live and in person. All right, so that's gonna do it for our Outer Banks season 2 filming locations. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed coming around with us to track down a lot of the areas where scenes were filmed in the second season of Outer Banks. We definitely covered a lot of them, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully we see you on filming locations for Outer Banks season 3. Don't know when that's coming out, but when it does, we'll be there to bring you guys the latest filming locations. But for now, let's close this one out. And as we like to say, it's time to put this quest in its capsule and seal it away. I'll see you guys soon.